To all the geeks and nerds out there, welcome back to another episode of Simply Minecraft. This is a series where each episode we take a look at the game and try and make each aspect of it as easy and as simple as we can. Today we are looking at wheat farms and also beetroot farms. You can see them here working away busily. So today I'm going to explain how they work and I'll show you a block by block tutorial of how to build them. So before we get into the build, let's take a close look at these farms and see how they work. So these two farms here, the wheat farm over here and the beetroot farm over here, are exactly the same. There's no difference. The only difference is the crop that's planted on the farmland itself, and they both work in exactly the same way. So inside the farm we have this farmer, and in the center of the farm, just in here, we have a composter. That's his workstation. That makes this villager a farmer villager. So at the right time of day, he will come around here, and if he sees any fully grown crops, he will harvest them. When he does that, they will drop the wheat and also some seeds. He'll pick up the seeds and then plant them in any kind of farmland that is available. So the thing here is that if a villager has excess seeds and there's a composter accessible, he will drop all these seeds into the composter and eventually he will run out of seeds and this farm will break. That is, of course, unless you've got these trapdoors here. That means he can't get to his workstation even though he thinks he can, and of course then he doesn't drop off his seeds and he keeps them. So that's what keeps his farm running all the time. Now his inventory is filled with seeds, so that means the only thing he can pick up is seeds. So that means that any wheat that is harvested will end up landing on this farmland and will stay there. So how do we pick it up? Well, we have a minecart running underneath on all of these rails, going backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. If it picks up any items, it will then end up at this drop-off station. It will stop here, deposit any of the items into this hopper, which then leads into these chests. And yeah, we can see we're getting seeds and wheat out of this farm. Now, in terms of rates, if you run this farm, you'll get about 80 wheat an hour and about 137 seeds. Now with the beetroot over here, you get slightly different rates. So over here we get 107 beetroot and about 180 seeds. That's beetroot seeds, of course. So if you build these two farms up and just leave them running, they will give you a good supply of these crops. So you can trade away with your villagers. It's also worth noting that you should only have one crop in each of these farms, so make sure this has just got wheat in it and nothing else, and likewise this one, just make sure it's only got beetroot in and nothing else as well. If you end up mixing crops in one farm, then one crop will end up taking over the other and you'll end up with just one crop. So yeah, if you want to build both of these up and get wheat and beetroot, then have two separate modules. Now just to demonstrate the drop-off system, if I was to throw a bunch of wheat over here, then our minecart, and you can see it there, like on top of the farmland just there. Now as our hopper minecart comes all the way back, it will pick those items up. There you go, you saw them disappear, and now it comes up to the drop-off station. It stops here and it starts depositing all of the wheat into the chest there, and then goes off on its way once it's emptied. So there you go, that is it working. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We've also got other crop farms. So we've got a wheat and we've got a carrot and potato over there that we built in a previous episode. There'll be linked to that in the description if you want to build it. And of course, there's a bunch of other things like iron farms and villager breeders and even a trading hall over there that we've done that are very simple builds. So if you're interested in those, there'll be links in the description. So after that said, let's get on to the build. And for the build, here is a list of all the items you're going to need to build these farms. Of course, the only difference is that you need to change out the seeds depending on which one you're going to build. But apart from that, this is the list. So I'll scroll down a little bit. But as I do, if you see any kind of blocks, really they are just for decoration. So for example, when I use these stone bricks, you can use any solid block there. I've used glass here just for the walls, just so I can see what's going on. But it doesn't have to be glass. It can be other blocks. And yeah, so if I scroll down here, you can see there's not many items at all here. So I've used some copper stairs. That can be any kind of stair block at all. So I'll put this list of materials in the description below. So once you've got your materials together, we can start the build. The first job is to lay down some blocks that will hold our rails. So this needs to be 9 across by 11. So you can see I've just added some concrete here just to demonstrate the size. So yeah, so that's a 9 by 11 square, and then take out two opposite corners just like that. Now, where you build this is relatively important actually. If you press F3 and G on your keyboard, you'll get all these lines come up. This is part of the vanilla game. You don't need a mod for this at all. And this shows the chunks, each chunk. Now, I would definitely recommend making sure that this is all in one chunk. So if possible, don't build this so it crosses a chunk boundary. That's because when you have minecarts moving around, it's best to keep them all in one chunk if you can. Sometimes if they go across chunks and chunks get loaded and unloaded as you move around the world, it can break the minecart and stop it moving. So definitely, if you can, make sure that this platform here is inside a single chunk. It doesn't have to be in the center or anything like that. Just make sure it's inside one and doesn't cross over the lines. Once you've got your 9x11 platform in place, come over to one of the corners where you remove the block and add a block on top just like this. Then come underneath, get yourself a lever, place it underneath and make sure it's powered. This is going to make sure that when the minecart comes over here, it's going to bounce off this block and then come back. Then go to the opposite corner where you remove the block, get yourself a double chest and place it next to the hole just like this. Then get a hopper, place it in this space here leading into the chest just like that. Then we're going to add the drop-off system under here. So first of all, add the temporary block under the hopper and one next to it. Then get yourself a comparator, place it this way coming out of the hopper, and that should go into a block. So this is going to detect when items start flowing into the hopper. It's going to power this block, and then that is going to depower this torch you place here. Then get yourself a solid block on top of the torch and another one on top of the comparator. Then add a repeater just here. So that is the end of the drop-off system. Now just need to add some extra storage. So the best way to do that is to add a zigzag pattern of chests like this, and then add a hopper running from this chest into this one, and then this chest into this one. Next, we need to find the central block to place down some levers. So come to this corner over here, opposite to where the drop-off station is, and count 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the middle block. Come underneath and place a lever and turn it on. Now do this for all these blocks here. Place down levers on all of these blocks along the center line, just like this, and make sure they're all powered and turned on just like this. Next, we're going to place down some rails. So maybe easier to look at where you've placed down these levers here, and on top of that lever, add a powered rail just like that, so you can see it should be powered. Then get yourself another powered rail and place it on top of the hopper facing this way. Then get some normal rails and connect these up. So basically what we're going to do now is have this kind of zigzag pattern of rails. The only ones that should be powered are the ones that are on top of the rails in the center. So you can see we're doing this, and we're going to make this go all the way around. Now you might find, depending on which direction you build this, you might get into this kind of situation where the rails go a bit funky. That's okay. We can just remove this. We can place down our powered rail again over here, and then we can place this one here, and it lines up again. And then just carry this over, zigzagging all the way until you get to the end. And when you get to the very last block, make sure this is a powered rail. That makes sure that the minecart will bounce on this when it comes back. Then if you grab yourself a hopper minecart, we can get this from over here, just like this, and pop it onto one of these powered rails. So pop it on this one right here. It should go off. And if you watch this for a second to make sure you built it correctly, it should go all the way to the end, bounce back, and then come over to this side. Next, we're going to place down all our dirt. So come over to here and start placing dirt on the last straight rails here, not on the curved ones, just on the straight. So do it all the way along here on this side, and also this side as well, just along here. And once you've got these two straight lines over here and over here, then fill all of this in with dirt. That should result in a 9x9 of dirt. Then you need to find the center block. So that will be 4 in from one side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 from the other. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this block right here is the center block. So place down your stair just like that, and then add water to it to make it waterlogged. Next, grab your composter and place it on the stair just like that. Then add another block on top. I'm going to use glass just so I can see around the farm, and then place a light source on top. Then get yourself your trapdoors and place them on the bottom of this block that's on top, not on the composter, but on the block. Place them all the way around just like this, and then fill in the corners as well with trapdoors. Once you've done that, start building a 2-high wall all the way around the farm. So just make sure it's 2 high. So I'm using glass here just so I can see inside the farm, see what's going on. But you can use any block here. The other thing to think about is that if you're not using glass, make sure there are no spawnable blocks up here, so mobs can spawn on the walls and get into the farm. And then get yourself a torch and place a torch in each corner of the farm. This is to make sure that all of the crops have got enough light so they can grow. Before we get our villager into place, I recommend coming over to here and placing a lever on this block right here next to the comparator and flipping that, so that will turn the minecart off. So once it comes back here, it will rest on this place right here. Next, it's time to get our villager into place. So grab yourself a villager either from your village, or of course if you've got a villager breeder like this one, or of course you can even cure a zombie villager. However you do it, get yourself a villager. Now we need to make sure that this guy is the right type of guy, and that is one with an empty inventory. So we don't want him to have any kind of seeds or items in his inventory. So what we need to do now is we need to give him 8 stacks of seeds. So if you're going for wheat, then obviously it's wheat seeds. If you're going for beetroot, then it's the beetroot seeds. So give this guy 8 stacks of seeds, and he should pick them all up. There we go. He's picked them all up. So that means that this is a good guy. He has an empty inventory. He's now filled up all of his slots. So he's got 8 slots. He's filled them all up with seeds. That is just what we want. If you have a guy here that doesn't pick them all up, then that means he's already got other items in his inventory. So swap him out for another one. And yeah, keep going until you get one that fills up their inventory. With our villager standing by, next thing to do, come into the farm and hoe all of the dirt, just like this, all the way along. Make sure you do it for all of the dirt blocks. Then get yourself some seeds and plant them in all the blocks right here. And your farm should look like this, and you can also see that I've also placed the seeds underneath the trapdoors. So as long as the trapdoors are in the right place, you should be able to get seeds in all these blocks underneath as well. So the last thing to do is get our villager guy into the farm. So if we break these blocks here, I've given him a path so he should be able to pathfind to the workstation. And of course he's down here in his boat. So if I release him, hopefully he should, before too long, there he goes, he should hopefully find his way over to the workstation. And there he is, he walks into the farm and he becomes a farmer, and he should hopefully start planting his crops once the things have grown up. So replace the wall, of course, and then our temporary walkway, we can remove all of this now, and the farm is ready to go. The last thing to do then is to come over to here, flip the lever to let the minecart go backwards and forwards again, and you should be good. I've left this farm running for a little while, and as you can see, our farmer is now busy harvesting the crops. Obviously, it takes a bit of time for the first set of crops to grow up, but then after that, you should see a steady income. And if we look into our chest, we're getting some items already. So it's a job well done. It's all working. Now, one quick thing, if you're wondering why I turned this on and off, that was just in case you wanted to do the seeds and stuff like that while you're inside the farm. You don't want your hopper minecart picking up your seeds as you're doing that stuff with filling up the villager's inventory. But then I decided to do it outside the farm anyway. So that was a little tip, but also this is useful in case you want to stop the hopper minecart for any reason. There we go, dropping off some items. So yeah, very good stuff, all working. So there we have it, another quick and easy design for your worlds. This is perfect for people that are new to the game, or if you're running a single player world, you don't need an overpowered farm, you just need a few items coming in. This is a perfect farm for you. Now, if you like these kind of things, we've got a whole bunch of them. So you can see we've been building a whole bunch of things in the world. There'll be links in the description to other farms we've built in this kind of style. So yeah, check them out. Now, I hope you find this video useful. And if you did, then please hit the like button. And if you're new, then feel free to subscribe. And if you've got any comments or suggestions, then get in that comment section. All right, my geeks, till next time, I will see you later.